Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's
I like the screen. It's gone.
It's school time.
Yay.
Previously on the show, we decided that getting involved with loan sharks is a good idea.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I thought we decided explicitly the opposite.
No.
Also, that you shouldn't get involved with the Yakuza.
Okay, Ben, listen.
Or your parents.
We made an agreement that we weren't going to badmouth the loan sharks because they could come after us.
It's true, they could break our legs.
Gotta stop talking so loud.
Oh, sorry.
The mic.
They could break our legs.
Could pick us up.
It's true. And Felix, you need to cut this. If you leave this in, we'll get you in lots of trouble.
Okay, thank you, Edit Felix.
Thanks, Edit Felix.
Oh, you're talking about cat? Yeah, sorry.
What? Edit Felix, cut that.
Oh, you're talking about Kasai-san. He's Shion's watchdog.
He's a good boy. Hey, watchdog, really? That's exciting to learn.
What was that delivery, Ben? Sounds like the shitposty dialogue I do.
It's perfect.
Yeah, he is. Shion tends to do the crazy thing, so she needs to have someone watch her all the time.
I think you're as crazy as Shion.
What? That's... what? She isn't crazy.
Wrong.
Keiichi-kun cut into the conversation. They ended up making a lot of noise, teasing each other like they always do. They all made it sound like that man, Kasai-san, is some sort of territory boss in Okonomiya. It wouldn't be easy for me to meet him in person, but because he's Shi-chan's watchdog, I might be able to find a way. The problem, though, is that I don't have any connection to Shi-chan either. We hang around every once in a while whenever she comes in Amazelle, but I never called or visited her, despite living in the exact same apartment. I have no idea how we can meet. Even if I could meet Kasai-san, there's no guarantee that he'd help me. He seems like the kind of person who doesn't like to gossip about others. He told me about Rina-san at the coffee house only because Shi-chan pushed him to. Plus, the situation could grow worse very quickly while I waited for the chance to meet him, so any help he might offer could come too late. Now, I remember Kasai-san told me that, as the next step, Rina-san usually uses her partner to threaten their catch. That would signify the end of her performance. They were going to take all of my father's money. I wasn't feeling a sense of crisis yet, but their time might be coming very soon. As soon as Shion shows up, I think.
A sense of crisis?
A sense of impending crisis.
And then I left?
And then I left. Shout out to that video. Even as I was at school taking a class peacefully, that man might already be at the house right this moment, threatening my father to hand over his bank books. Once I become anxious, I get more and more anxious. I could feel the big pressure on my chest as if the ceiling had collapsed on me.
Man, I'm so bored. My life is too peaceful. If only I had someone to murder.
Keiichi-kun talks to me, yawning. Is that so bad? I'd love to have a peaceful life that'd bore me.
I don't. I wish some kind of big event would happen, like aliens coming to attack or something. I'm not saying I'd like to have something like that every week, but at least at the end of every month or so.
At the end of every Aquasark.
And that doesn't include our monthly test.
Jesus. If aliens really did come, destroyed the Earth, and burned all of Amazelle, would you be satisfied?
This music is way too sad for the line that is on screen accompanying it.
Would you?
No, that's not what I meant. Just saying that I want for some kind of excitement because I'm so bored.
He had no idea what I've been going through, of course, and that's why he says that. But I was still irritated by his insensitivity. Now, I couldn't understand why he wouldn't be satisfied with such a peaceful life. He never has to doubt that today and tomorrow will be as fun as yesterday. I was all too aware that boring and peaceful days could be destroyed all of a sudden. I knew that boring and peaceful days would come to an end all of a sudden because your mom wanted you to divorce your dad. I knew that you could feel like you didn't belong anywhere in your own house because your dad had gotten a new girlfriend. Even so, you had to repeat the same kind of day, over and over again. That's why I want to live every day happily, in order to be prepared when the world comes to its end.
You know, I remember a similar, if not identical, conversation from, was it Arc 3 with Rena, when we were talking about the like pacing with which her character is delivered. And the scene is kind of making me wish that we would have had, like, this music behind that scene. Like, obviously it was, you know, the question arcs music.
Yes.
But, like, one of the things I've always enjoyed most about Ryukishi is him putting music where it belongs. And I think it'd be interesting to go back over that scene, like, with a different musical context.
Yeah, I mean, there are two things that kind of go into that, right? Obviously, he doesn't have Dai at that point, so he doesn't have the same, like, music composition expert. And the other, I think, is that Keiichi doesn't, like, the vibe that I get from that scene back in Arc 3 is that Keiichi doesn't really know what to make of it.
Well, yeah, and I mean...
and that obviously follows on from
Arc 1 and 2. It's not like it has incredibly upbeat music, but... Sure. It's just, like... You know, I think it's one of Ryukashi's strong suits, and it would be nice to see it like that. And it also goes back to that discussion we were having at the end of Arc 5 about the realism of the perspective versus the weight of the story as a whole.
Sure, yeah.
Where, like, it probably makes sense to not have this somber level of music when we're talking, you know, looking from Keiichi's perspective at that scene.
Yeah.
But it helps serve a better purpose as a whole.
It helps us to see the, like, disconnect, I think, between what Keiichi is thinking and what Renna is feeling, that sort of vibe, which is what's happening here, obviously.
Absolutely. Like, the fact that this scene is here from Renna's perspective obviously kind of undoes the need for that in Arc 3.
Sure.
But if we didn't have this scene to counter it, we could have still kind of conveyed a similar emotion back then.
I mean, this is what he does. He recontextualizes stuff, right? We're getting all of those little scenes that we had with Renna, like, you should figure out what's going on with Neon.
Absolutely,
and,
but I think that, like, the recontextualization here is more on the nose than it needs to be. Not that this is bad,
no, I'm with
but that it doesn't need to be as in your face. But at the same time, this is going back to talking about his writing growth and seeing how he does start to do it slightly less in your face as we go forwards.
You say that like he doesn't just repeat himself and have essays and paragraphs.
He absolutely does.
But yeah, no.
The times when it works really well.
No, for sure. That's why I want to live every day happily in order to be prepared when the world comes to its end.
I'm jealous of you, you know? You look so happy all the time. I wish I had that kind of skill.
Hey, you're jealous of me, huh?
How do you do it? How do you live every day not being bored but being happy? It really is a skill I'd love to learn how.
That's easy. All you need to do is realize.
Realize what?
There's no way he could realize it. And it was probably better that he didn't, because that meant he was truly happy. You just need to realize that your happy days will one day come to an end. That fucking transition.
Not very slick, but still good.
We got there.
Nice time to just vibe with the music.
Yeah.
Before the cicadas cut in and ruin everything with their thematics.
It's true. The three of us walked home from school like we always did. Mi-chan said goodbye to us at the corner of the street where she took a separate way home. She walked away waving, but I chased after her. Mi-chan!
What?
Mi-chan apparently thought she dropped something, and she looked around to see what she dropped. I almost forgot to tell you. I saw Shi-chan and Kesai-san yesterday at the coffee house, and I picked up something that Kesai-san dropped while he was there. Of course, he hadn't dropped anything. I was lying. If I could meet him, I'd just show him whatever, tell him I thought it was his, and apologize for my mistake.
Oh, well, thank you then. I'll send it over to him in that case.
I'd like to give it back to him in person. Mi-chan looked surprised. I couldn't blame her.
Neither could I.
I'd met him only once. It's weird to want to give something back in person to someone you barely know.
Well, that's alright, but why?
He had this cute beard and those cute sunglasses.
That's fair, actually.
It's very fair. He is a hunk of a man, of a cute man. Oh, I'm so crazy about cute things.
Kasai rent a ship happening.
No. You can think something's cute without having a ship with it. How?
I know far too many people who would disagree with that statement.
Look, I'm just saying, if you ship Kasai right now, leave it in the comments so I can judge you silently. Get out of here, you sons of...
This is the real meta. This is the real meta of Higurashi ships.
No.
Shion, Mion, Renna, get out of town with your Keiichi nonsense.
They all love him, though. That's not true. Not all of them.
Kasai.
Kasai is a dreamboat, though. We can agree on that. Renna don't need no Kasai, man. She don't need no Yakuza tough. She's a young, goofy boy.
It's a wholesome ship, too.
The heart of gold.
There's nothing raunchy going down there. You know that it's a responsible platonic guardian relationship.
What?
And that is perfectly acceptable.
What? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Is that what happens when you ship people together?
I mean, as long as you don't make the boat too erotic.
Are you implying he's a eunuch or something? Is that where this is going?
No, I'm implying that he's a responsible adult who wouldn't do bad things to young children.
Okay, good. Which is why he's got Shion to look after. Don't you think his hands are too full looking after her?
No, come on, he's a capable man.
Shion is murdered like 20 people!
Well, yeah, but that's obviously the time that he was hanging out with Renna.
Oh my god! That makes no sense, and I hate it. Could I fudge my true intentions in my cute mode?
People have been asking me this whole playthrough who I was going to ship.
Who is your
gonna
ship?
Be
That's your ship?
Shion and Mion.
That's your ship?
Kasai
Renna?
Just no,
No,
it's Kasai
that's
Renna.
not a good
that's
ship.
The real ship.
They've only had like one scene together, and that was
Responsible
like
platonic.
who
Yeah,
is
and
this
ships
guy?
have to start somewhere,
That
Ben.
doesn't make sense.
Responsible
There is no
platonic
ammo.
ships
You
have
have a
to
gun.
start-
It's going click click. There is no ammo here.
Well, there is no ammo here because it's not amorous love.
Oh my god. Amorous love? Amorous! Ah!
Walked right out that one, Ben.
I'm so done. I'm so done with you. Why do I do this with you anymore?
You haven't read this line, have you?
I did! Could I fudge my true intentions? With my cute mode. I tried it anyway. Mi-chan usually takes words at their face value, and indeed she seemed to buy it.
Please don't pull out his beard and take it home with you.
So, do you think I can meet him?
Well, I have no idea if he's busy or not. I'll ask him when he's coming to Hinamizawa next.
I needed to know when as soon as possible. Of course, I wasn't going to say I want to meet him today, but at least tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Or tomorrow when the war began.
No. Why are you being so mean to me over the last couple episodes? I don't understand it. It's not a terrible book.
It just keeps dropping this list of potential dates, and I have to extend it somehow.
What,
You
just
know, I
the
had
word
intended-
tomorrow? It's just the word tomorrow! You're like, I see the word tomorrow, it's when the war began.
I had intended. I had intended to get a list of other things starting with tomorrow to prepare myself, but I'd forgotten about it until right now. I feel ashamed of myself.
Oh, you have to do it between this one and the next episode.
I will.
Editor Felix, put a reminder on Felix's desk to let him know that that's
Well,
what
he
he needs
can't
to
do
do.
that. He's in the future.
Well, it's a reminder for a future episode then, obviously.
But what if we're done with the show by the time that Editor Felix gets this on his desk?
We won't. We would be doing this forever, right? That's how this works.
Well, I mean, we can make the joke in Kekonier, I guess.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, whatever. What are you guys doing? I'm sorry, Keiichi. We were just interrupting the scene. What was that? Oishi?
Oishi's here!
Where did he come from?
He's coming in! Where is Oishi? I haven't seen him in ages. I miss that man.
Read your line.
What? No, it seems like Rena found a new love. No. How?
Really, how interesting. I want to hear about it too.
I didn't want to leave it up in the air, so I told her I think I should give it back to him as soon as possible. I'm sure he's looking for it too.
Also, just for the record, shipping material.
No, not shipping material. Get out. Worst ship. That's not true. There are at least one or two worst ships I can think of. Mi-chan said okay twice and walked away waving.
Are there any that are not spoilers?
I mean,
It doesn't matter because they're not.
well, I mean, their
relevant 'cause
characters
the
have
real
appeared.
Ship, the real ship is Kasai.
I don't want to talk about
And
ships
Renna.
that I personally disagree with because
Well,
that would be
that's just
disrespectful of me.
censorship.
It is censorship. I'm censoring my shelf. My shelf?
My shelf? What did you
I'm
put on your
censoring my
shelf? What kind of lewd things of Renner have you put on your shelf that means we have
Nothing.
to
I don't
censor?
have any renters in my house. I don't buy merchandise. I just don't do it. Only
get
the stuff that
sent
people.
merchandise,
It's true.
though.
I do occasionally. Shout out to Epica. Fueling my addiction to Renner. It's literally her job. It's okay. I bought her some Rika art from someone who.
You know, there was a
con,
Kasai
so-
card in that care package we got
There
sent,
was,
which
there
means
was.
that that's the real ship.
There was also a.
No,
a
but I
tepe.
didn't see the Keiichi art.
No, there was a Tepe one, and there was also an Irie one.
Well, yeah, but Renner can murder those people.
What? You don't think she could murder Kasai?
I mean, I think what?
What?
No, 'cause she wouldn't, because that's the ship, obviously. And she's not some dumb yandere like the
That's-
anime makes her out to be.
That's not. God damn you. It's okay.
I had to think really hard about if I was using that word correctly.
Yandere?
I still don't know what any of this bullshit
A
is.
yandere is a girl who kills for love. And a young gire is someone who kills
cutting this
for non-love reasons.
Cutting this. Actually, edit
Rena
Felix
is a yangire
because I don't edit the show.
But Shion is a yandere because she kills people for Satoshi.
Yeah, that's fine, but not Rena.
That's when she's
Rena's
like, you can't be, you can't,
she wouldn't kill Kasai.
She's like, you can't come near my sweetheart Satoshi. Give him back to me or I'll kill you. But she kills him anyway. I hadn't thought about how I was going to ask for help when I would meet him. He seems to be in a higher position than Rina-san, her partner. If he agreed to help me, it would be very encouraging.
It's over, Tepe. I have the high ground.
Well, no. But there was a possibility that he'd tell me he didn't want to interfere in other people's private matters. He could just say the whole thing was another love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover.
Well, it's obviously a square, because Kasai's in there as well.
Bye, Rena. See you tomorrow.
Done. Yeah, see you tomorrow. I said goodbye to Keiichi-kun. I've never heard it. And walked home alone. After Keiichi-kun was gone, everything went quiet and my head became clear. What I needed at that moment was quiet time to think about what I should do from then on. I shouldn't depend on Kasai-san to solve my problem.
That's good. Don't depend on your romantic interests.
Be independent, goddammit.
Otherwise, you will end up like your father.
I like that this is the thing that you've latched onto. Fucking Kasai. He's a good boy. Like, of all the things I latch onto, I'm okay with it. It's just surprising. It's just very surprising. He most likely declined my request, so I'll have to think about some alternatives. It's probably better that I do just that.
Well, it's just that when we were doing our show meeting to plan out what jokes we do for the episode, you weren't annoyed by any Shion or Keiichi ships.
It's true.
I had to pick something slightly edgier.
Slightly edgier. That's a legitimate, like, I mean, I don't know about Shion. Shion Keiichi isn't really legitimate, because she has a boy that she's, like, romantically interested in. Mion would make sense. That one would frustrate me. Plenty of Mion Keiichi
He's totally
ships.
fine with it. This is why we got to go with Kasa. We got to put him out of his comfort zone. That's how you get the best improv.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's probably better that I just do that. A love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover.
And
those
Kasai.
words bother me because I've seen an unhappy triangle like
Square.
that before. Shush you, it's about to get emotional as shit. You suck.
Well, yeah, but the joke can stop now.
Thank God.
Let's go and pause.
We pause the joke meter. That sort of thing. Speaking of Satoshi-kun, had to happen to Satoshi-kun.
Had it?
Satoshi-kun experienced it last year. He fell for his sister in a triangle with his aunt. He was the same situation as mine. I'm trying to fight to protect my father. Satoshi-kun fought alone. Nobody helped him. All I did for him was give him my sympathy and compassion. I didn't think I could do anything more than that.
How does Rena know in detail about Satoshi's situation without knowing who Tepe is?
This is a good question.
Interesting thoughts to have.
I don't know. It's a great question, but apparently she's like involved enough with Satoshi to be like, we're friends, but yeah, doesn't know who Tepe is. Apparently.
It's like how you tell your friends after 6 years of knowing them something your sibling did, and they're like, "What? You have siblings?
You have siblings? I didn't know that." I feel sorry for him, but I didn't really help him out. Irresponsibly, I tried to cheer him up, and I probably told him something that I thought would make him feel better, but that hurt him instead. I recently realized how much I hurt him with my insensitivity because Keiichi just hurt me the same way. I'm going down that same path. Says she couldn't win last year.
Woo! Murder!
I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu. An unusual repetition. Would that mean that I'll be the one who gets demoned away this year? I should be okay. I wasn't thinking about running away from Inamizawa. Was I? I wasn't thinking about running away from Inamizawa, but I thought about running away from my home many times. That's why I made the place I could escape to in the garbage dump. That dump happened to be in Hinamizawa. But what if it wasn't? Running there would mean the same thing as running away from Hinamizawa. I shouldn't think like that. Or sure someone will get mad at me. Or sure someone is really scary. I saw flickering lights in my head.
Dude, that was so immersive.
It's great. Oh, no. Every time I try to remember that time, my mind would stop working properly. I remember the vivid colors of my psychoactive drugs. The flickering lights and clouds started spreading in my head. They were so bright and annoying. Don't try too hard to remember. Don't try too hard to remember. No. I couldn't stop the flickering lights in my head. I couldn't have that feeling. I had to fill my heart with another feeling. Yeah, there's no time for these crazy flickering lights in my head. I had to think about what I should do when Kesai-san declined my request for help. I had to protect my father from Rina-san and that bad man. Wait. Why was I still calling her that? Rina is Rina. Rina. She's a bad person who deceived my father and tried to bring us unhappiness. Bad people bring bad things in the world without even doing anything. They're different from the other 9% of people who aren't bad. If you let them loose, they'll even ruin the people around them.
That's a lot of bad people.
It's a lot of bad people. When you have one bad tangerine in a box, it spreads its fungus to the other tangerines around it. That's what bad people are like. I couldn't remember how Saji-kun resolved his triangle last year.
I can.
But I could still see the flickering lights in my head. They're still flickering. They're still flickering. They're still flickering. They're still flickering.
What?
Literally the worst.
Thank you.
They're still flickering. They're still flickering. Just as the swirl of flickering lights were making me dizzy, I saw my house. I also saw Rina-san's scooter parked by the side of the gate. The moment I saw the bike, the flickering lights disappeared and I regained control of myself. Rina-san spent the night last night. She told me she had to work today in the evening, so she should be leaving soon. But I didn't want to be around her even for the little while until she left. I said, I'm home real loud to rush to the house, pretended that my friends were waiting outside and rushed out of the house. But Rina-san stopped me.
Oh, hey Rina-chan, you're home.
Hello. This was the first time I thought Rina-san's smile was ugly. It only stood to reason. I'd realized the scheme she was hiding behind that smile.
Your father and I went to Gagura for lunch today. There's a restaurant there that makes delicious Indian curry.
My father poked his head out of the living room and he says,
I want to go there next time we go. I really like that curry. I hate this voice.
God, it's awful. I wonder if it meant with me next time or with me and her. Anyway, I hate it when Rina-san says your father.
As long as Rena's father eventually gets a sprite who is just wearing overalls and a flannel shirt underneath, I'm happy.
I don't think he will.
Damn
but
it.
I will say all these metaphors about tangerines, I feel justified about the voice choices we've made in our journey here.
We bought you some curry home from the restaurant. Try it later. It's very good. Have you heard of that restaurant, Reina-chan?
I did know the restaurant she was talking about. I saw it in a magazine. It's a new restaurant that just opened recently. I also remember that it was an expensive restaurant. The amount of money they spent on the take-home curry alone must have been enough to cover the cost of all our dinners for several nights. Since I was aware of what was in the bank books, it was hard for me to stay calm. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Rina-san.
Reina-chan, your father and I would like to talk about something with you.
I'm sorry, but my friends are waiting for me, so I have to go. We're going to go treasure hunt at the garbage dump again. Star!
You really like treasure hunting, huh? I'd like to go there sometime.
Well, I've got to go. Bye. Every time Rina-san moved her arms or head, the scent of her perfume struck my nostrils. I hate the smell of her perfume, so I couldn't stay there a second longer. I rushed out of the house and started running to get away from her perfume. The rubber band inside me, the one called Rena, was stretched all the way to its limit. I'm pretty sure I'd explode and go crazy if the rubber band broke. I didn't want to feel like that inside my own house. My house was supposed to be the place where I could open my heart freely. I ran away. I ran away from there. I ran farther and farther away from there because it was no longer a place I belonged. It's not that I had a destination in mind. I was just running away. I was running to escape to a place where I did belong. Didn't I decide to fight against that woman? Did I decide to fight against her either by myself or with my father? But then once I saw her fake smile, a chill ran up my back. It was like I picked up a stone, found a carpet of boughs underneath it, and put it back on the ground in a hurry. I rushed out of the house as fast as I could. Did I want to fight? Did I want to run away? Was I just choosing to spend a peaceful time in my hideout, believing that tomorrow would be the same as today? I couldn't do that. I didn't know when they'd spring that trap. I couldn't afford to waste any time. I knew that deep down. I knew that, but I just wanted to run away. I couldn't stop myself from running away, and so I did run away. At times like this, the mattress in my hideout would feel so soft that I knew. The cries of the Higurashi were soothing to the ears. They sounded as soft as my mattress. They were like music. They didn't force any feelings on me. They cried as if to tell me to just be who I am. It was always so quiet here that I immediately noticed the purr of an engine coming closer. People used to come here and make a lot of noise during the dam conflict, but now nobody really comes here. This is a place forgotten. So it was rare to see somebody come through here at all. I sat on the roof of an abandoned car and waited for the intruder to go away without looking their way. But the purr of the engine stopped. I'm not stupid. If it stopped, I knew exactly who it had to be. I heard the person calling me, but I ignored it once. The person came closer, making it harder for me to ignore her, and she called my name again. I turned around this time. Rina-san.
Rina-chan, are you hard of hearing?
I'm sorry, I guess I just couldn't hear because of the wind. She seemed to buy my poor excuse. She smiled and said,
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Are you here alone? Where's your friend?
I'm playing here alone.
Oh, well, it's rare for a girl your age to play alone.
Rina-san stretched and looked across the huge garbage dump.
I can't believe people throw so much scrap out here. You know, there used to be a place where people threw tons of abandoned cars without wheels? It was near Hirosaka.
I wasn't interested in Rina-san's old story, but I pretended to listen and nodded. She doesn't take this road to go back to Okonomiya. I guess she knew I'd be here and came by to see me.
Goodness, I wonder how that happened.
What did she want? It was obvious that she was just trying to make conversation. She probably took it personally when I avoided her earlier, which must be why she was here to butter me up. It would be better for her not to have any conflicts with the daughter of the man she's seen, no matter what the intention of seeing him is. In that sense, it was a reasonable action for her to take. While I listened to her old story, all I could think about was when she was going to leave. Didn't I have to fight against her? Didn't I decide to fight against her? Didn't I find out I plotted the coffee house in Okonomiya? Didn't I find out that this woman is squeezing money out of my father when I looked inside his cash box? I know who you are. Please leave my father alone. How easy it would be if those two sentences could solve the problem. She'd probably deny it. Even if I told her about what I heard at the coffee house, I have no evidence of her plot. If she said she did it because the vulgar man was threatening her, there would be nothing I could do. But I know this woman is a bad person. I know something horrible will happen in the near future if I waste time like this. A strange, tense feeling started coming over me, but I didn't know how to let it out. As the feeling started running high, I became unable to stand the smell of her perfume. I wanted to put a certain distance between me and her, so I climbed down the slope of the scrap heap. I kept going down and down the slopes of the garbage dump. When I turned around, I saw her coming down as well, muttering. Was she following me? In order to run away from her, I started running down the slope all the way to the bottom, went around behind some trash piles and arrived in the front of my hideout. My escape was meaningless. Not only was she going to catch up with me eventually, all I did was let her know the way to my hideout that nobody is supposed to know about. I wanted to make sure she never saw my precious hideout. I was about to leave, but then she appeared.
Wow, this is cool. It's like a secret base.
This is my secret hideout. Nobody comes here, and nobody can hear us. I felt strange hearing myself say that.
So, this is your secret hideout, huh? I'm honored to be invited here.
She must have thought I told her my secret because she was worth sharing it with. She looked happy. She found the station wagon, looked inside of it, and through the window went all ooh and ah, excitedly. This is a secret place that nobody else knows. I felt like my consciousness was separating from my body, like I was floating. But it didn't feel good, like when I drink Amazaki. It was more like being carsick. I felt like I was going to throw up. My brain was probably secreting some chemical in order to avoid facing reality that I'd have to stay with this woman, but I couldn't run away from her. But even if my brain tried to avoid recognizing it, the reality in front of me wouldn't change.
Reina-chan?
Yes?
What's wrong? Are you feeling okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I inhaled fresh air and pulled my consciousness back to reality. I didn't feel like throwing up anymore, but I still felt off balance. I leaned onto a scrap of garbage to keep my balance.
I like you, Reina-chan. Do you like me?
What are you talking about all of a sudden? I said that because I didn't want to say that I like her.
I've been seeing your father for quite a long time now, and you've been talking about many things, you know?
I need to stop feeling like this. Get up, Renna. I'd heard something like this before. A part of me was trying to understand what this woman was trying to say, but another part of me was trying not to. I felt as if her words were bouncing around in my head, and I started having a headache.
We had a serious talk about our future the other day. You know, about our life together and so on.
What? Ooh. You like Uncle Akihito, don't you, Reina? So your father and I are... What's going on? Mother? What are you thinking about, Rena Ryugu? This is an important moment. You're about to have a one-on-one battle with Rina-san. No, Mom, what about my dad? What about me? I don't want you to divorce him. I don't want you to remarry to anybody else. No, please, don't divorce him. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you get remarried. I'm not going to let you get married to my father.
What?
I don't care if you go out with him, but I'm not going to let you get married to my father. She must have not thought that I'd say it straight out like that. She looked stunned. After a while, she broke silence with her laughter.
I thought you might reject me, but I didn't think you'd say it straight out like that.
You thought I might reject you? I'm surprised you even noticed that I was doing it.
Of course I did. You always ran away whenever you saw me. You thought I didn't know? That's why I hate kids.
She frowned, revealing her ugly self. It should have been the first time I saw a face like that, but I wasn't surprised at all. Her face had looked like that to me from the beginning.
I wanted to get along with you if I could, at least on the surface, but I guess it's hard to do that now since you hate me so much. What do you hate about me? I'd like to know for future reference.
Everything. I hate everything about you. I hate your smell too. One vicious word came out from my mouth after another. I didn't have wings, but I felt as if I was flying out to the sky. I felt weird and uncomfortable, but also exhilarated. I felt as if I was letting another me use my body. I was in the middle of a disastrous battlefield, but I felt like it wasn't even my business.
Well, that's just fine with me, because I hate you too. I guess we're even. You little fucking brat. Better shut your fucking mouth or I'll make you...
Never come to my house again. I'll never let you get married to my father.
I don't need your permission, you know. Well, why didn't you try and stop your father from remarrying? Let's see what happens. I think you're wasting your time, though.
She didn't look intimidated by me at all, and that made me feel a little intimidated in return. Why was she so confident of her absolute control over my father? She had to have more than confidence to be able to act as fearless as this. She must have something tangible. Before I asked her what it was, she told me herself.
I'm pregnant.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. It's true.
It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a big lie. She has to divorce because she got pregnant. She has to get married because she got pregnant. That's a lie. That's a big lie.
I'm a Christian, so I can't get an abortion. He'll just have to accept it. Plus, we had sex with marriage in mind. He made me pregnant. If he changes his mind and takes no responsibility, it's gonna be a big mess, you know?
Oh my god.
That's good. That's a solid commitment to this scam.
This is not going well. Well, that's, I guess, is the question, isn't it? Is this a real thing or is this a lie? That's the fun part. That was your plan, wasn't it?
Fun isn't the word I'd use.
I mean, you know. That was your plan, wasn't it? I overheard it. I heard the conversation you had with that man, Te-chan, at the coffee house. I know you started seeing my father for his money. I know you call him your husband in Namazawa. I know he's just a big catch for you. I know everything because I heard it from Kesai-san. Oh, he's bringing Kesai into this!
Oh, no.
Oh, no!
No!
Oh,
Strategy,
that's not good.
Strategy out
Oh,
the
yeah,
window.
all gone. I know you do badger games too. She is not thinking this through.
Oh, you knew? Well.
Before I knew it, Rena was standing right in front of me. We glared at each other with our faces almost touching.
So, Rena-chan, you know everything, and what are you thinking you're gonna do?
Don't come near my father ever again.
And what if I refuse? You wanted to talk to me in your secret hideout, right? I kinda knew what you wanted to talk to me about. You brought me to your secret hideout where nobody knows, nobody can hear us, right?
Yeah, you're right. Nobody knows about this place and nobody can hear us here. Nobody comes here because it's a place forgotten. Our faces were so close to each other that our noses could almost touch. I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't know what would happen next. I couldn't back down now that I'd come to this point. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I should do. Shush you.
Come on, let's not do this. Let's be friends again.
Rena started laughing and slapped me on the back. My expression didn't change and I kept staring at Rena. But I didn't notice her real intention of putting both of her arms around my neck. The tension broke over the stretched thin and Rena squeezed my neck hard. I was openly hostile, but I didn't realize Rena's evil intentions until she started choking me. Oh, that's a face!
Finally got the face!
Oh!
That's disaster.
Go back to the original. Hey, that's a scary face.
You little brat! I'm so close to getting millions of yen. If you at least pretended to get along with me, I would have given you a good allowance, but you just can't keep your fucking mouth shut, can you? You got some fucking nerve. Brat, like you should die.
I tried to pry her hands off my neck, but I didn't have the strength to do so.
I didn't want to kill you, but I'll probably never get as big a catch as your father again, so I don't mind killing you for millions of yen. I was gonna disappear after I got that money anyway. This is what you get for talking back to me.
The world around me got darker and darker. I had never known an evil intention like this, namely the intention to kill me. It didn't scare me though. That's because being scared is a feeling that people use to express how they feel when they see wildfire on the other side of a river. People on the island with the wildfire with their deaths right in front of them, they don't get scared. If I loosened my grip on her hands even a little bit, she'd crush my throat. This was a simple competition. See who was stronger. Rena wanted to get into the most advantageous position, so she tried to push me down to the ground so that she could mount me. If I let her do that, I wouldn't stand a chance. I tried to keep my current position, but I was losing a lot of energy by being choked. It was only a matter of time before Rena could push me down. I lost my balance on purpose. I tried to fall backwards in order to put her off balance. I couldn't hold my breath long enough to keep up that strength competition. So I had no choice but to take that chance. We fell on the ground, tangled together. But as Rena was strong and determined to kill me, she didn't even take her hands away from my neck after she fell. However, my action made Rena lose her grip on my throat. It wasn't loose enough for me to break free from her grip, but it gave me a few moments to use my hands for something other than stopping her from crushing my throat. If I hadn't taken the chance, I would have been done for. That's why I tried to literally seize my chance. I moved both of my hands on the ground to seize that chance. I felt a piece of broken glass on my right hand. That was truly my chance to literally save myself from the brink of death. I cut Rena's wrist deep with the piece of glass.
That's a lame attack.
Rena tried to endure the pain for a few seconds, but pain that severe from someone so cornered soon broke her will. She let go of my throat to cling to her bloody wrist. I I used that moment to roll away from her. Murder.
It fucking hurts.
She screamed, both in pain and also to try and intimidate me again. It didn't work anymore, though. Intimidation only works in the opponent when the opponent is hesitant to fight. When you're already in a fight, screaming like that means nothing more than letting the opponent know how badly you're hurt. I no longer had any hesitation. I had learned from Rena. She taught me what I had to do in a situation like this. That's right. This is my secret hideout. I know every single piece of junk in here. Maybe I knew a day like this was coming. Was it just a coincidence that it was there? I'd pulled out a meter-long lead pipe. Not at all surprised to see it there. I raised it up high and brought it back down.
Oh!
There was no way Rena could block this hard and heavy lead pipe with just her arms. She probably tried to block it with the palms of her hands in order to take it from me. But her long nails wouldn't let that happen. Unable to catch it the way she wanted, she broke her fingers and some of her nails came off too.
Ah!
Her scream made me realize that I had the advantage, an advantage I would have to keep. If I didn't, she'd turn the tables just like I did, and then she'd choke me to death for sure.
Stop! Stop it! Wait!
Rena shielded her head with her arms, but it didn't help. All that would change is that I'd break her arms before I broke her face.
I'm serious. Stop it right now.
I'm serious too. Die. You should just die. Yeah, that's right. I should have done this a long time ago. I didn't need proof. I didn't have to talk to anybody. That's stupid. That's nonsense. I should have done this a long time ago. If I had done it a long time ago, my father wouldn't have been deceived. I could have protected him. I could have protected my family. I could have protected my life. I could have been myself. My mother wouldn't have divorced my father. I could have stayed happy.
Stop.
What?
How does killing Rena San in the past stop the divorce of her parents originally?
I think she's more saying she could have killed, either her mother or her mother's side piece.
I see.
Akihito. That's the more likely option.
I mean...
That's the shortcut, right? What does a recently pregnant woman do when their fiance is suddenly brutally murdered, but they're already married to someone? They go back to the married person, right?
You know, Ben, you'd be a great strategist for Rena.
I would. Call me, Rena. Hire me. Hire me to be your campaign manager. The campaign of murder. Your murder manager.
I'm on board for this campaign. I will be a spokesperson for this campaign.
Dude, yes, the murder manager has arrived.
As you accept the ship of Kasai and Rena.
No. Kasai can go move to a different town. He's not involved in this.
I mean, he can move to a different town as long as Rena goes with him.
No! Because she needs to be here so I can manage her campaign. I don't do long distance campaigns.
Well, you can move too. It's probably in the budget.
You know what? I'm okay with that. If we're all three of us, but there's no it's not a ship. It's just that Kasai and Rena and me are all moving to an island somewhere. I'm okay with that.
As long as the island has a boat, I'm happy.
Perfect. A nice boat.
Very nice boat.
A nice boat.
Yep. Piloted by a man named...
Editor Felix, bleep that out, please. I wouldn't have had to be unhappy. I'm going to recapture my happiness. At this moment, I'm going to win back my happiness. I'm not going to cry for misfortune. I'm not going to give in to a fate of unhappiness. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to seize my happiness right now with my own two hands.
Get these hands!
Quitish.
Shout out to wrestling fans in the description.
Rena tried to run away from me.
Why did I say in the description?
I did. They're in the description now. Don't question it.
I guess all the wrestling fans are in the description because they're above the comments.
That's true. It's true.
That's meta.
Yeah. You should find some wrestling fans and get them to leave comments for this video. Or description comments.
I agree.
You know what I mean? They're comments, but they're in the description.
Yes.
Perfect.
That is true.
I love it.
We've solved this.
I'm
whatever
glad.
this is.
I'm going to continue on.
Please do.
Thank you.
Go for it.
Rena tried to run away from me, but as she no longer had the use of her hands, it made it difficult for her to stand up to escape, especially since there were scraps of junk everywhere on the ground. After all, this is my hideout. This is my territory. Nobody can run away from me here.
This is my town.
Basically.
I'm the sheriff.
I'm Sheriff Ryugu. She tried to climb up the soap of garbage, slipped, fell, and rolled all the way back down. She didn't stand up and move. Her eyes were open and her neck was bent at an unnatural angle. I didn't know how to make sure she was dead, so I kept looking at her open eyes for a while. She kept faking it for all I know. But she didn't close her eyes, no matter how long I waited. Scooped up a handful of sand and threw it on her face. She still didn't close them eyes. Thud. The lead pipe slipped out of my hand and hit the ground. When I tried to pick it up, I realized how heavy it was, and I was surprised that I was wielding it as though it was a knife.
Adrenaline is powerful.
Very powerful. I was sweating all over. The cold wind felt good on my skin. She's just basking in the afterglow of murder.
I know, it's great.
I do love these scenes. The cries of the Higurashi were calming me down and healing my soul. Rena was just like a broken dummy now. She had become a piece of junk. I'm the owner of this land of junk, and I've defended it from her intrusion. Now she was a resident of this junkyard. I didn't feel bad about killing her. In fact, I felt rather fulfilled that I defeated the evil woman who had deceived my father. Because that's how morality works.
Exactly.
They're objectively evil people. That's how we codify our environments and social structures. It's good fun. I started breathing slowly and calmly, and I regained enough energy to analyze the situation. I'd have to hide her body. First, I had to get rid of her scooter. I climbed up the slope and kicked the scooter down the hill. It rolled down the slope, making a lot of noise, and blended in with all the junk as it stopped, like it was there from the beginning. I went back down the slope and started dragging her body to my hideout.
Why would you do that?
Because she got to put it somewhere, and nobody knows where her hideout is.
I mean, but here's how you set up this crime scene, right?
Uh-huh.
You drag a body up to the top of the junk heap.
Uh-huh.
It's going to take a lot of effort. Let's be real.
Okay.
It's going to take a lot of effort. I'm aware of that. And then you throw her down the hill.
I mean, that's what you do with the scooter, right? So just,
No.
bring it back
But
the
then
yeah.
you know, blood and gruesome bits of skin gets all over the junkyard.
It's true.
And then you take the glass shard and you just stick it in her hand and lay it on the ground as though that's how she landed with a piece of glass in her arm.
That's perfect. I like it. I'm sure that will not imply that there was a blunt force trauma from people like whacking you in the head with pipes. She just fell. She
Well, I
she
mean,
tripped
you
down
never know how
junk.
people could fall down a slope. They could land on their head every single
true.
time they flop.
I mean, really what Rena should do is like get that piece of pipe and shove it in the ground so that the pointy end is sticking up, because it's a pointy end, obviously. And then put Rena through the pipe.
There's probably a trampoline somewhere in the junk heap.
Yes.
So you put the pipe through the middle of the trampoline.
Yes.
Throw Rena onto the trampoline, and then it looks like she just bounced enough times to hit her head on the pipe.
Perfect. This makes perfect sense to me. It should have taken as much effort. Can you stop doing that? Now I know how it feels when I laugh at your shit when you fuck up a line.
What? That wasn't any fucking up of a line. That was
I know it
me
wasn't,
laughing at our
but it was
stupid jokes.
We're professional, Felix. Staying in.
This is the professional
I
bit of
know.
the show where we
I know
make
it is.
humor for the audience to enjoy.
I know.
Could you imagine if we just read this completely
I know. No,
stone-faced?
we would fucking watch this. Nobody would. I
We
wouldn't
would watch this.
I wouldn't watch this.
I don't
Well,
watch
I don't.
this.
I wouldn't. I don't either. I don't know who would even watch. Who would even read Higurashi without us to read it? Let's be real here. I thought you were supposed to know this one. What is happening? A dynamic is changing, and I'm not sure I'm okay with it.
Turns have
The
tables.
turns of table. It should have been. It should have taken as much effort as dragging a 50 kilo sandbag. I'm going kilo because that sounds more random.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. It should have taken as much effort as dragging a 50 kilo sandbag, but
But what about kilogram?
kilogram. You know what? You're right. All right, let's do it. Third time's the charm.
Third
You're
time's
right.
the charm.
Kilogram. It's a serious scene. I love it.
Very serious
It
scene.
should have taken as much effort as dragging a 50 kilogram sandbag, but it felt louder than that. I'm not doing it again. It was. It was just a sandbag, yet it brought disaster to my family. I didn't lure her here in order to kill her, or did I? Maybe I just didn't notice that I had that intention deep down in my heart. But even so, I felt like this was the best and most expedient solution. There was no better solution than fucking killing her with
That's
a lead
just the
pipe.
fact.
That's how it works. How wasteful to depend on someone to help me, to wait for the day to come when they will. I remember the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt that happened last year. I had no doubt that Satoshi-kun murdered her, but I've never been as convinced as I am right at this moment. How could he have saved Sadako-chan other than by killing his aunt last year at that time, in that circumstance? My situation was much the same as his. How could I have saved my father other than by killing her? If I was planning a murder, I would have been under a lot of pressure and stress. But for better or for worse, It's great, I know.
That's such a good line in context.
If I was planning the murder, it would have been stressful, but it was just spontaneous murder.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
just kind of
fine.
happened.
It just kind of happened. But maybe I was thinking about subconsciously, but I don't worry about subconscious because that's what the flickering lights are. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But for better or for worse, the moment came to me out of nowhere. That's why I believe I solved my problem with as little trouble as possible. Now that she's gone, will anyone become suspicious about her disappearance?
I can think of at least 2 people.
Oh, God. She was an irresponsible person who skipped work at her own convenience, so I didn't think anybody would get suspicious when she disappeared one day. She was a big mess from the start. People think she went into hiding because she got into deep trouble with someone. Oh, the Sonizakis. I didn't need to fabricate an alibi. All I needed to do was to get rid of the body.
Well, I mean, at least they cut her up into pieces at the beginning of Arc 3, didn't they?
Did they?
I think they did.
No, I think it was a whole corpse.
Oh, shit,
It
really?
had nails through the fingers.
Oh, you're right. I'm
and
getting my
yeah, she
death
got
methods mixed up.
Walter Nagashied.
Getting my death methods mixed
Right.
up.
Yeah. Because that's what they do. That's what the Sonizakis do when you cross them. Probably cross Kasai. It took me a while to figure out how to do that last part. Hiding that body would be very risky. But my brain had become so calm that it did some calculations and came up with an answer right
Holy
away.
shit, we're approaching Galaxy.
Here we go! I hope you're ready for this, Felix. Yes, this place is still the safest. This is a place forgotten. Nobody comes here. Nobody knows this place is here. I knew that because I've been spending a lot of time here. Compared to taking the risk of carrying a body some other place, it was a lot safer just hiding here. But it wasn't perfect yet. This place wouldn't remain a secret forever. I could hide it here for now, but I'd have to come up with a perfect way to make it completely disappear.
Oh my god, is she about to put her inside Colonel Sanders?
That'd be pretty amazing. Oh my god, it's like Five Nights at Freddy and like it rots and the rotting like blood goes out the eyes of Colonel Sanders. Oh my god.
That might be like one of the first jokes I made in the show about murder. About there being a corpse in Colonel Sanders.
It's true.
That'd be an amazing full circle.
I hope that's what happens. I don't think it will.
I don't think
I'll
it
let
will
you know
either.
right now, but I hope it does.
Oh, me too.
It's a lot easier to think about that than think about how to make Rena break up with my father. It's easier. It's just easier than talking to people. I stuffed her corpse into a broken Colonel Sanders in a trash pile. I wanted to cover the Colonel Sanders with dirt and bury it. But that was too easy. I had to chop the corpse into pieces and make them completely disappear. I felt like I told you to be excited. I felt like it got dark all of a sudden. No, it didn't get dark all of a sudden. I just didn't realize it was getting dark until just then. Whoa! Is that a gunshot?
No, it was thunder. We've been over this. Ricochet
Or-
lost his thunder sound effect.
It's true, he did. There was a server with all the thunder sound effects.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
I can put.
I did like 100 of these.
I can put one back in. I'll do it. Edit it, Felix.
Please
You do it.
Yeah, edit Felix. Work, you mongrel. Hey, I didn't read that line.
Oh, sorry.
I could hear thunder from a distance. It might rain soon. I could use some rain. It washed Rena's dirty blood into the ground. I should go home. I should think about what I do tomorrow. I was going to stay right beside my father until he forgets about her. It might be hurt at first, but we're going to recapture our happiness for sure. A happy, peaceful life.
Now the question is, Ben.
Yeah.
Was Rena in Arc 1 bringing her friends to the trash pile to have them watch, guard, look out for her while she was hiding the corpse of Rena?
In Arc 1?
In Arc 1.
I don't think so.
The answer is yes.
Why?
The answer is yes, because the story demands it.
I don't think that's true. What makes you say that?
Because Rikishi's all about recontextualization, and that's what we're doing
But
here.
Rena didn't exist in Arc 1.
How do you know that?
Until Arc 3.
How do you know that? You
Because her
can't
name was never
prove that.
mentioned. She
What are you
wasn't
on
mentioned.
about?
She wasn't mentioned until Arc 3.
You're
when
telling me that they
she
didn't
got-
put
she got
anything
Walter
about
Nagashied.
Rena's family history in any of the previous arcs up until now?
Very little.
It's nonsense. It was all there. It was all there right from the beginning. You could have seen it coming.
I know.
Could have seen it coming from
I
a
know.
country mile away,
They-
like I did.
They pulled me up Persona
Like that,
5.
like that time in Arc 1, Episode 1, or Arc 1, Part 1, where I said, man, wouldn't it be funny if there was a corpse in that Colonel Sanders? And you were like,
and now there it is!
you
We have our
stupid
proof.
idiot. All I didn't
did say
the
that.
only thing I didn't specify was that Colonel Sanders was also a fridge.
Do you think they sell that? They must sell that. Can we look that up? Can We look that up. I want you to look up Colonel Sanders' fridge. I want to see if that's a real thing.
Yeah, no, this is good.
Just do it.
This is good.
Do it. And if
it's
it
not,
is-
we're gonna make it a thing.
Yeah. Somebody make that a thing if it's not a real thing. Colonel Sanders' fridge. Specifically to put bodies in. Like, that's...
All right, let's look it up.
Let's see. Is there any indication here?
Well,
It's got to be like a KFC brand fridge,
But I mean,
surely.
he does have like a white suit, kind of like a white fridge, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe his suit was a fridge. Maybe Colonel Sanders was a robot and his
fridge.
chest was a fridge for fried chicken, and that's where they kept the secret recipe.
Yeah, dude. Why would they keep the recipe in a fridge?
What?
Why would they keep the recipe? The recipe is a piece of paper, not a food.
But yeah, but it stops bacteria from growing on. It stops the paper from getting
the
old.
paper?
It keeps the paper in good quality.
I feel like, you know what? I don't know anything about storing paper. I just know that you can't let bugs get in it because they'll eat the paper. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like storing it in a fridge is not going to go well. Isn't it all
there's
brittle
there's
and like fall
seed
apart?
storage
And get
vaults and
moist
stuff in
Does it
the
get
Arctic
moist?
Circle.
It gets moist.
What? No, you just put a
fridge.
dehumidifier in the fridge.
I feel like dry ice, maybe. Yeah, I'm just saying. Regardless, I don't feel like there are any Colonel Sanders fridges, and that makes me very sad. I just want to store my Kentucky Fried Chicken inside Colonel Sanders' big old tummy. That's all I want.
Make that dream happen. Contact the company.
The Sanders
Say
himself?
I have never eaten your food,
Colonel?
but I need to put your food in a
not true.
fridge shaped like your mascot.
Yeah.
That's what you tell them. Even if it's not
Look,
true, that's just what you tell them.
need to make
because
a petition.
Then they know, regardless of whether you've lied to them or not about whether you've actually eaten their food, then they know that you will have changed their life into eating their food.
It's true.
after
I'm now a
they've-
valued customer
Exactly.
of KFC. Just like the other millions of people who are also valued customers. Equally valued.
Exactly, and everyone will get a fridge, and they can thank us for it.
They can thank me for it. Fucking.
Well, I was the
that's
one
my
that
idea.
suggested
No, it's my idea
that
now.
Colonel Sanders had a
But
body
I'm the
inside
one.
it.
But I'm the one calling up the Colonel himself and asking to make his body in a fridge.
Well, we can take equal shares on this, I think.
75, 25.
51, 49?
I thought it was supposed to say 60, 40.
64? I can live.
My way.
I can live with, I can live with 64.
Okay, 64
Yeah, that's
is
fine.
good.
That's fine.
Alright.
I can go with that.
All right, fair enough. My body was heavy with exhaustion. But I also felt fulfilled because I took a very important first step today. I'll keep taking one step after another. I'm not going to cry anymore. I'm not going to cry until I win back my happiness. I'm not going to cry again.
Well, there we go.
And that's the end of the chapter. I'm glad that we went on that whole tangent.
Well, would you rather we went on a tangent now?
I mean, yeah, but it's too late. I mean, you can always pick it up and move it, I guess.
I guess we could. We could
But
just
yeah,
pick up
anyway,
the entire conversation with our
that's-
legs.
In either case,
That's the earliest murder we've had.
it is, yeah. We haven't even had the fucking festival yet.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's
This
good.
is the earliest murder, excluding murders that have happened in the past.
Yeah, it's funny that
which, as we know from Anna Catherine Green's House in the Mist,
yes,
is technically a valid murder.
yeah. I do really like this arc. We're still pretty damn early in the story. This is a long arc from memory. But we've had a huge amount of club scenes. Because we don't have as many of those, I walked to school, I walked home, I thought about my family and stuff. We just got right into the club scenes with the water gun fight and the stuff at the cafe or at Angel Mart.
Yep.
And then we've been here's all of this exposition about how shitty Renner's life is,
I
and
will
then
say,
murder.
I do think that this arc so far has been an excellent companion piece to Arc 5.
Arc 5. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting choice there. How so?
Because, the way that they both sit in the story, they take you out of your comfort zone, drop you over in Arc 4 in the past.
Yep.
They take you out of your comfort zone, drop you in Arc 4, in Arc
Flashbacks
5,
and all that, yep.
and then kind of start to bring it back around here. But
Yeah,
because
sure.
we've had that maneuver where we've gone out of our comfort zone, now that we're getting into Renner's head
Right,
here,
yes.
it flows a lot better
Yes.
because we get that direct contrast of their different thought processes
Yes.
between Shion and Renner in Arc 5 and 6. I think that it flows in the story as a whole a lot nicer than it would have going straight from Arc
Yes.
3 to 5 or straight from Arc 3 to 6
Yes,
or
yes.
from 4 to 6, whatever.
You're right in that this arc feels more like a 1 to 3 arc than 4 or 5 do in a certain sense. It's good to when we were having those club scenes early, it felt like we hadn't had those for a while because we haven't had any club scenes, proper club scenes since the start of Arc 3 Like, before we learn about the Hinamizawa disaster,
Yeah.
before we learn about all the shit with the dam in the past and all Shion stuff, like, it's been so long since we've had this, like, totally fun, happy time. To me, it just, like, hits so much harder.
Yeah, and I think this arc definitely would have been a bit of, like, tonal whiplash, like, too much tonal whiplash if it had come straight after arc 3.
Yeah. We're at that point where we can accept that, like, because Miyakashi does that good job of saying, oh, you thought that things were one way, but they were another way, with, like, the literal switching of Mion and Shion. So now being presented with Rena acting one way, but thinking another, it's like, we're really well primed to accept that as, like, a true thing, I feel.
And it also very nicely, sets up for the reframing of Keiichi's thought process, where we get to see the outside of his thought process rather than the inside. We get to see him being scared rather than just a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Not to say we didn't see him scared, but, like...
I mean, he's nothing but scared for the whole letter of Arc 1. What if they try to kill me? Oops, I killed them first, but I had to do it.
I don't know, maybe he's just always seemed too psychotic to me, but that's definitely...
He's an intense character,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, all of these characters are intense in their own ways, that's kind of the point, right? None of them have good circumstances. All of them have these horrible things happening. They're all really intense, vibrant characters. It's why I don't think there's a character that I don't like, at least in the core group that, like, carries on from arc to arc. I mean, we're supposed to hate Rina and Teppei, you know.
It's right, though, because they get murdered in the best way, so they're worth it.
Well, do you think Teppei's gonna get murdered? He'll be fine.
Well, now I'm just wondering if it's gonna be Rena that does it, because Rena's already had a murder. So then does Keiichi try play a game of one-upsmanship? Or does Rena just get addicted?
Well, that's, reading that scene where she's like, I could feel the sweat and the cool wind, and man, it feels good to murder. God, it's such a fucking psychotic
I really
loved it.
wasn't expecting, like, it to happen until the scene when it happened.
Yeah.
Like, the moment she's walking up to the house, I'm like, oh, someone's gonna die.
Yes, no. That scene where she's saying, you know, I'm moving further and further to the hideout to get away from Rina. But wait, was I actually planning on murdering him? That to me is one of the most interesting questions that scene kind of asks, because she's able to retaliate very quickly and purposefully.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels to me like Rena in that scene has repressed the second conscience that Keiichi and Shion both seem to feel openly.
Yes.
So, like, those whole scenes with, like, oh, my vision's flashing. Like, you know, she walks into the house and she's like, oh, yes! Hello, Rina. Here's where I am going right now, to this place where you won't have your body found.
Yep.
Funny that.
Yep. I mean,
I'll see you later.
It explicitly calls out in the line when she says, this is my place. Nobody can hear us. And hears, like, in capitals. And I don't know what that looks like in the Japanese version, but obviously Rena is thinking about this. She's thinking about this as a place of safety. She knows where the lead pipe is. She probably knows where that piece of glass is. Like, she is prepared. She's moving into a place where she can kill Rena if she has to. She's got that fight or flight thing going on.
Yeah, and it also goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about, like, you know, obviously the sanctity of her safe place was going to be broken at some point. The really cool thing is that it was her that broke it.
Yeah. I mean, that is the fun part, isn't it? And that theme of having, like, a sanctuary is a really common theme with all of the characters. I don't know if we've had, like, a big talk about it, but you know, Satoshi and Sadako kind of have, like, Sadako has Satoshi and Shion has Satoshi as well, and, like, Rena has a hideout. Keiichi has his friends. That's why we see that downward spiral happen so horribly in it, why it's so, like, visceral.
Yeah. Because
he says, you know, this is where I have fun with my friends. Oh wait, my friends might be murderers. That's fucked up. All of the characters who do have this downward spiral of murder and hate, it's because the things that they care about are being attacked. And that place where they can be safe and alone or with people even is under attack.
The other great thing there is that, you know, obviously in Arc 1 and a little bit in 2, the question is like, oh, are my friends murdering people?
Yeah.
And then now it's just like, yeah, they're murdering people.
This is why.
Doesn't matter if they were back then, they're just doing it now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, that's the fun dialogue. When is murder justified? Is it justified? What's up with these fucking kids? It's great.
If you agree that it is always justified, then you're crazy. Something.
Yeah.
Ruxio 7. Next time.